Now, a steel guitar is particularly noted for its, well, portamento or portamenti, which is actually the sort of like, the little slurred notes. So that's basically what the steel's mostly about. And really, you don't hear that, apart from guitarists impersonating, you don't hear that a lot. In the same way as you hear it on the steel guitar, used in chords, or just used in just a riff. That's what the steel is well known for. It is a type of electric guitar. It's got pickups on it. I'm going to move the camera down now so you can see what I'm talking about. You don't want to see me anymore. So there is my Bennett Double 10, which was incidentally custom built for me by Ronnie Bennett, who used to play in the Hillsiders and is now retired up to Scotland. But Ronnie built this for me back in the 90s and has been a great instrument. As I say, it's a type of electric guitar. It's got pickups, but it's built on legs or a stand. The old ones had a stand, but as I say, it's got foot pedals and knee levers that change the pitch of certain strength. The steel part of it is this part, which is actually, it's actually a polished steel bar with a sort of a bullet nose to it, and that's what you use in the left hand. So without using any pedals, right, I'll try that again so you can hear it. Now that's without using any pedals at all. Okay. And you can do an awful lot just using the bar just across the strings, as you would with a slide guitar, Hawaiian guitar or similar. But it's limited. If you want to do certain things, certain moves, you'd be limited. And the old players, the old Hawaiian players, used to do a very clever technique of slanting the bar. Now that's quite inaccurate at times, unless you're very good, which the old Hawaiian players were. So actually the pedals and knee levers act as a sort of a cheat in a way, but they do make it quite a lot more versatile. Pedal steel guitars have one or two necks. Some have been known to have three, but they'd be very heavy to carry around, I have to say. This one's extremely heavy anyway. They have two necks very often, and they have 10 strings on each. Mine's got 10 strings on each, but some people do actually have as many as 14. I know players who have just a single 14 string. It's up to the player as to their preference, and each player will generally swear by their own configuration. Okay, and they've got frets as you'd have on a normal guitar, but you don't actually use them. There's no function other than just be a guide where you're putting the bar, which is obviously pretty important for your intonation. Okay, yeah. Well, the namesake, the pedal steel, of course, is because it's got the pedals. Now that's my A and B pedal going from a, as it happens there, from a G to a C. And so then if I slide up the bar holding those pedals down, that's then going to give me a D. C to D, and obviously to E, etc. But there's such a big combination with the steel, because while I can play G there, I can also use, that's open, no pedals at all, just the bar. I can actually then move up 3 frets and play G there. But I've actually moved a knee lever across and put a pedal down for that. Okay, I'm just going to have a quick run through with the knee levers here. Okay, with the left knee I can do now that is using the 8th, 6th, 5th and 4th strings, which as I'm playing them there are actually playing a chord of E. So I'm moving the knee levers over. Now the knee lever up. Some fairly spooky sounding chords amongst those really, but then you've got the right knee lever and same strings. Okay, but the right hand knee lever doesn't do anything on those strings. Okay, the right lever actually changes two different strings. It changes the 2nd and the 9th. And the 2nd is D sharp. And that knee lever changes the D sharp to a C sharp. The whole tone. And quite horribly at the same time it changes the 9th from D to C. Again, hard to know whether you'd ever use those, but you don't use them together, you use them in different riffs and under different circumstances. But that's basically what happens with the knee levers. So, in combination using some pedals, A and B pedals, so that's basically where the knee levers and pedals work together with the bar, the steel, and you can get a mega amount of combinations with the levers and the pedals together. Very, very interesting instrument to play. When I first learnt, I became slightly besotted. I'm just going to move the camera back up now. Yeah, you could only really say that, but I almost became besotted with the steel when I learnt to play. Fascinating instrument and so many possibilities. I haven't even got, as far as I'm concerned, I don't believe myself to be particularly under starter's orders when I listen to some players that I mentioned previously. I'd like to be a better player, but it's a question of time and how much you dedicate yourself to it. So yeah, I hope basically that it's given you some insight as to what the steel guitar is. Very mechanical instrument, does use an amplifier and effects, obviously, you know. Just to finish up,